If you didn't know, Buzz is one of the most untouched brawlers in Brawl Stars' entire history, despite the fact that in some cases, Buzz can be considered extremely overpowered. On paper, his mechanics are absurdly amazing. With one successful skill shot, you pull yourself directly to an enemy and then stun them while you're able to deal tons of damage, potentially even repeating the stun a second time if you didn't kill them by the time the first one ended. He has good health, good damage, and his super has very long range. So why is it that Buzz hasn't received a single nerf in his entire lifetime? He has been in the game for a year and a half, yet Supercell has barely seen any reason to touch him at all. This is the short yet interesting story of Buzz in Brawl Stars. Back in June of 2021, Buzz was released as the 7th chromatic brawler in Brawl Stars. Highly skilled players quickly picked up on the fact that if played correctly, Buzz can be an extremely powerful brawler. However, similarly to Gene, if you miss your super or use it at the wrong time, Buzz can seem like one of the worst brawlers in the entire game. Back in 2021, the year that he was released, Buzz had a few counters, those mainly being brawlers like Gale, Surge, Ems, Shelly, and maybe a couple others like Bull, Griff, and so on. So in the very beginning, Buzz was at his prime. He had the least amount of counters possible, and Gale didn't even have his Twister gadget until a month after Buzz's release. It's well known that a brawler's stance in the game can stem between two different things. Either they can be mechanically overpowered, or the meta can heavily influence how useful they are. If a ton of Buzz's counters are the best brawlers in the game at the time, and they're also the most frequent brawlers to see in the game, then Buzz would thereby be one of the worst brawlers in the entire game at the time, even if his stats were pretty good. But if none of his counters were frequently seen, then he could be considered one of the best brawlers in the game. Buzz was clearly very powerful on release, but he wasn't unbeatable. Because of that, he did not receive any emergency nerfs in the coming months after his release, but he did indirectly get a few nerfs, even if his stats were not changed at all. As seasons went on, more and more Buzz counters were being added to the game. Gale's Twister gadget, brawlers like Eve or Janet who can escape his super very easily, Otis who can silence him when he tries to dive in, Bonnie who can jump over his super to dodge it, Penny who got a rework to make it easier to deal with Buzz, Surge who also got a rework, who also became better at countering Buzz, and through the next year, several brawlers were given new abilities in the form of gadgets or star powers which allow them to directly escape or counter Buzz's main ability. That, and as time went on, other brawlers continued to get more and more damage put into their kits, again whether it's through gadgets, star powers, or straight up buffs. So while Buzz was fundamentally really good, when it came to fighting a large selection of brawlers in the game, he wasn't actually as great as his potential shows. Nerfing him didn't seem like a very good option, and buffing him could make it extremely ridiculous to fight if you're playing as a brawler who Buzz can already deal with very well. And not long after his release, Buzz was given his Eyes Sharp star power, which greatly helps him gain his super while staying safe, and this would quickly become his staple star power from that point on, and even then, it was not enough to warrant a nerf or a buff. Over an entire year and 2 months went on before Buzz finally got his first and only balance change, which was a very small one. He gained 200 health, most likely to make up for the fact that so many brawlers were being added who counter him, and the fact that so many brawlers were getting damage added to their kits through buffs or gadgets or anything like that. Besides that one single health buff and his second gadget being added at the same time, Buzz has not received any other balance changes outside of bug fixes and visual changes. So this either means that Buzz is the most balanced brawler this game has ever seen, or Supercell is afraid to nerf him and they're also afraid to buff him because doing either can make him either way too strong or way too weak. I believe that if he didn't have so many hard counters, Buzz would have gotten a nerf at some point because it would only make sense, but since Buzz has certain hard counters, that is the main reason why he hasn't been nerfed at all, and actually why he's been buffed. Either way, in the hands of the right Buzz player, sometimes you can actually push past these hard counters and you can actually win. Some cases are harder than other cases, but still, a good Buzz player can make things work out at least a little bit better than they would have before. So let me know in the comments if you guys think that Buzz should get buffed, if he should get nerfed, or what you think should be changed about his kit, if anything at all, or if you think he should stay the same. I don't really know what boat I'm in, because I kind of want to see like a Buzz meta, but at the same time, that could be really annoying. So I don't really know what I want, but I want to hear what you guys want. Buzz is a super unique brawler who is barely even talked about nowadays, so I just wanted to make this video to give him a little bit of a spotlight for being one of the only brawlers to barely get any balance changes. But yeah, with that being said, subscribe to my channel for daily videos, drop a like to help me with the algorithm, and I'll see you later. Have a good night.